Hey there. Well, happy holidays to you. I wanted to share something with you today because tomorrow's solstice. So I felt like it was really important that I at least get this video out to you tonight. Tomorrow is the winter solstice for the Northern Hemisphere. It is the longest day of the year. Longest, no, it's the darkest day of the year. So in the Southern Hemisphere, it would be their summer, their first day of summer. For us, it's our first day of winter. However, we start to gain the light back. Tomorrow is a very special day, and I want to share why it's going to be important for you to pay attention to it, especially around this time of year where things get busy. Tomorrow is a beautiful day for self-reflection and to pay attention to the seasons. So let me share this with you. I want to actually move this, make this bigger. Let me do that. So I want to share harnessing and captivating the magic of the winter solstice. Temple Loam is one of my brands where I provide training and teaching and coaching and facilitation around coming back to nature. Such an important part of us, of what's important for us now, is to really start to integrate back into nature. Grounding, you're going to see all those kinds of things happening right now. Putting your feet back on the ground to get grounded, to forest bathe. You're hearing these terms that are coming out now related to connecting back to nature. And one of the best ways to connect back to nature is to get in tune with the seasonal cycles. Tomorrow is one of those beautiful days. So I just want to share this with you. So let me go to my presentation. So we're not going to cover all this because what I want to do is at the end is share a link to get a little training that I've done for you. But what I cover in the training are the seasonal cycles, what makes them so special. I talk a little bit about the sacred sites and the folklore that are involved. I talk about the ways that you can celebrate. I give you some journal prompts. So this is just a little bit of the presentation that I provide. But right now I'm doing just kind of an overview of everything, mostly because I really want you to understand how to use tomorrow, because tomorrow is a very powerful day. This is me sharing and going to the different sacred sites here in California, especially celebrating the different seasons, the solstice, the equinox. These are some of the special places on the planet. This is the Integratron down in Joshua Tree, near Joshua Tree. This is Giant Rock. This is me in Joshua Tree. So I just wanted to show you that I'm really very interested in connecting to the earth. I would say that I'm a new pagan. A pagan is somebody who just really reveres nature. It used to be a term that was, or it's kind of coming back around now, but it was considered sort of a negative terminology. But pagan really just means revering nature and the sacredness of nature and connecting to the seasons. So what I wanted to show you is what is so powerful, why it's so powerful tomorrow to connect to the season of winter, is that we're intimately connected whether we want to recognize it or not. We are a part of the cycle of nature. And here I wanted to show you the energetics that are happening through these different seasonal cycles. So right now, tomorrow, we're in December. So this is the first day of winter for us. This is the astrological perspective versus the meteorological. So meteorological is when they'll say that the first day of winter is December 1st, but the astrological, based on the cosmological shift of the planet, the first day of winter is generally December 21st, 22nd, depending on the year. The solstice lands on within that range. So again, it's the darkest day of the year for us. What's happening is at the autumn equinox, which happens in September, that means it's equal night and day, we start to lose light until we get to the winter solstice, where it's the darkest day of the year. And this is where there's a lot of celebrations around bringing in the light, burning the fireplace all night, waiting for the sun to return, because in ancient times with indigenous cultures, they watched the sun get lower and lower in the sky, and we were losing light. And then what happens, and I'll show you on the next slide in a minute, the Earth, it's on a tilt. And so it's tilting away for us in the northern hemisphere, away from the sun. And on that very final day, we've lost a lot of light, and it hangs there for just a second. So the Earth, the axis of the Earth hangs right there, and then it starts to move back so that we're then shifting back towards the sun, which is bringing us into the spring and summer. So the ancient civilizations recognized that moment where the sun sort of hung a little bit in the sky and then it moved back. So a lot of the celebrations around this time of year are about bringing in the light, bringing in, lighting candles, burning fires, bringing in the greens, because in a lot of places it was packed with snow. It was in the wintertime, you didn't find a lot of greens, but the evergreens related to the Christmas trees, these are a lot of these pagan celebrations that we do today are about bringing in the green, sort of protecting nature for a period of time during the darkest time of the year. So when you see this side, this is the dark half. This is the introspective and reflective side, because we have lost light. So December 21st marks the darkest day of the year, and then we start to gain light as we move back into the spring equinox, which is technically the first day of spring. And that's around the 20th, 21st, 22nd of March. Again, that's an astrological date versus a meteorological date. Okay. And then at the spring equinox, we start to gain a lot of light. And then summer is the day. So summer solstice is the day where we have the most light. It's the longest day of the year. And that's when there's a lot of celebrations. And then from that day forward, we start to lose light. So this is an annual cycle. And this is the reason why it's so important. This is the universal cycles of change that we all are impacted by. We have the creation, right? So the seed, when we look at the cycle of nature, we move into growth and maturation. And then we step into turbulence, chaos, dropping off, meditation, and dormancy. So creation, you can imagine that to be spring, and then summer is maturation, fall is turbulence and chaos, and then winter is dropping off and dormancy and meditation. So this is an energetic flow that we are very much a part of. And just to talk about energetics of this time of year, when in our civilization here in the Western culture, we are very big on the New Year's resolution. However, what happens is we're kind of in the thick of winter there. We're in that dormancy and the dormancy and meditation phase. So it's just a hypothesis, but that energetics, this is my hypothesis, for a lot of people, they have a hard time holding to their New Year's resolutions. I mean, I know a lot of the gyms, like Gold's Gym and 24-Hour Fitness, they get a glut of people that come in and join up, only to like a month or two later drop off. So from an energetic perspective, we're meant to be sort of dormant and meditate and be self-reflective. Then in the spring, that energy opens up because the light has come back. So for me, when I think about putting my energies into things, I certainly go with my intuition and I follow my gut. However, if I'm following the energies of the cycle of the year, spring is the better time to really kind of put your best foot forward and kind of get out there and get into action. You do what you want, do what feels good to you. I'm not telling you one way or the other. I'm just sharing the energetics of the year and why it's so important. So here again is the solstice tomorrow, December 21st at 7:27 Pacific Standard Time, PM. That'll be the time when the Earth has tilted the furthest away from the sun. And so the pole is pointing the furthest away at 7:27 PM tomorrow night, Pacific Standard Time, December 21st. So it's a very special time. In fact, if you get up in the morning, this is one of the things I share with people, get up in the morning and watch the sunrise. This is what the ancients did in order to build. The master builders of ancient times that created all of these beautiful ancient structures used the sun, the solstice, in the equinox to find their positioning in order to create these sacred geometric spaces for their buildings. That's why churches and other things feel so good, because they've worked with the solar net. They've worked with what's called the solstitial quadrilateral. And all of that I talk more in depth in this little training that I'm going to offer you at the end, that I want to share with you at the end. There's just so much to it that we don't even realize. It's such an amazing thing to start to recognize what the ancients did. You know, a lot of these, like Stonehenge, and when you go to Mexico, to some of the pyramids and Tulum, and you know, they were built around the equinox and the solstice in order to, first of all, pay attention to the seasons, but to honor the sun and its moving, the sun and the moon and the stars, and how they moved across the sky through the cosmos. So tomorrow, my friend, tonight's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, December 21st at 7:27 p.m. That is that moment, that exact moment when the Earth's axis is the furthest away. Okay, so see if you can spend some time just even getting outside. I know for us it's going to be dark, but if you go outside and just meditate in that moment, it can be a very powerful thing to do. Okay, so I just want to end on this slide for you. I'm going to scan to the end, but I wanted to also share with you. So the winter solstice symbolizes the death and rebirth of the sun, because the death of it's the darkest day of the year, right? And then at that point, it begins to move back across the sky. We start to get more light. So the gradual waning of daylight, the hours are reversed and the light begins to return again. So the spiritual meaning of winter solstice is to celebrate the longest and darkest night and the slow return of the sun, and to look forward to the brighter, warmer days ahead. And the theme for the winter solstice is grounding, resting, recalibrating, reflecting, becoming introspective, dreaming, planning, and working with the shadow self. Now, if you're a mom, which I am, this can be a very busy time of year for a lot of moms, a lot of parents and moms, because I work with women's empowerment and I support women around creating a more fulfilling life and not feeling as burdened and overwhelmed with a lot of the invisible labor that moms tend to get stuck with. That resting piece can be hard. So more on that later. But I just wanted to share this with you. So let me scan to the end. I talk about the ancient peoples and some of the journal prompts, and I pull a card, but I wanted to show you this. So celebrating the solstice, this is a mini course that I created for $27, and I'll put a link in below down in the comments section. But I go into great depth about the power of solstice. Now, this course gives you both the winter and the summer solstice. So you're going to learn about both. You're going to get suggestions on how to celebrate and really make the most of these special days. You're going to learn about the ancient sites. You're going to learn about how to tap into this energy, why it's considered sacred, because it was based, you know, these structures were built on ancient mathematics that were connected to the solar grid that created certain harmonics. I'm going to talk about that. Plus, you'll get a 15-page downloadable workbook or guidebook. You're going to get the High Vibe Morning Rhythm MP3, because it's all about kind of setting the intention at the beginning of the day. So this MP3 that I created personally for you, you're going to get that as a bonus, and you're also going to get as a bonus stress relief for busy people. Because if resting is one of the themes around this time and you're having a hard time doing it, this MP3 can help. So I wanted to share this. Let me go back to me here. Okay. I wanted to just share why tomorrow is so important. And if you feel really inclined to connect back to nature, in fact, you feel like that's something that's been missing in your life, tomorrow is a beautiful day to make a commitment to yourself and set an intention to really work with the energy. Get up in the morning. Look at the sun as it's rising. Look at its place in the sky. Connect to that cosmological space that you live within, and then watch it as it sets. These points were used by ancients to build these beautiful sacred structures that I'm sure you're probably aware of. Again, Chichen Itza and Tulum and the Angkor Wat, which is in Thailand, and Stonehenge. There's so many that are so beautiful and dynamic and energetic still. So there you go, my friend. Happy winter solstice to you tomorrow. Happy holidays in whatever way you celebrate. And I look forward to sharing more of my teachings. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.